Good morning, everyone. As Richard mentioned, White and Case is a global law firm that's been around for 120 years, present in Asia, EMEA, and the Americas with 46 offices in 30 countries. I head the Manila office, which is the firm's third largest office, Richard, in terms of headcount. It is a pleasure to be with all of you this morning and share some insights we learned during these unprecedented times. Like most, our plans did not cover pandemics in the possible scenarios we had to prepare for. The crisis being global, we immediately felt its impact across all our offices, across the firm, starting with the three offices in the major cities in China, and then our Hong Kong office, which was also partly due to the riots. We began to implement work from home. Our South Korea office, our Seoul office quickly followed. Then soon our offices in Milan and other parts of Europe. We quickly adopted a firm-wide approach and had the Manila office work from home as well. So mobility through laptops ended up being a key component of our resiliency. We knew we could not possibly plan for every scenario. Instead of a BCP site, which most organizations do, we opted for a simpler solution, which we called slam and go approach, referring to having laptops and in case of emergency, you slam it and you go. And we anticipated slam and go would somehow be a solution to many scenarios. Thankfully, it worked. And of course, we worked with PEZA in allowing us to do our work from home. At the first day of lockdown, the Manila office achieved an 85% attendance, would you believe, with a few hiccups on connectivity. So working through and addressing people's connectivity issues became our priority at the first week. By Friday of that same week, we were already at 97% attendance and continue to average the same, which was quite a feat. That was a pleasant surprise to us as well. So undoubtedly, in this time of crisis, we've successfully leveraged technology to continue our operations unhampered. But once work from home was smooth and established and became the norm, a new concern started to arise. It was people's emotional and mental well-being. In our daily senior management team meetings, this came up more frequently, and we realized this was starting to become the new issue for us. It was no longer connectivity. We knew we needed to address this quickly and effectively. We started to think about technology beyond an operational enabler in remote working, but as a bridge to underline the value of community and connectedness. For us, alongside technology, one of the fundamental ways we effectively address the rising concern around emotional and mental well-being of our people was our ability to effectively communicate. And we benefited from doing three things well when it came to communication. The first, we communicated with empathy. People need to feel and understand that we genuinely care for them. In our communication, we made sure that we acknowledge their feelings and priorities, which is health, safety, and well-being. And we weren't afraid to say what people were thinking or even answer questions that they were too afraid to ask. People won't follow us, we felt, if they felt we didn't understand them or their circumstances. So we communicated with empathy. The second thing we did was we communicated truthfully. And it's so important to tell the truth, even if the truth was somewhat bleak or even unknown. It is also tempting to counter the fear and the growing anxiety by being overly positive, but we needed to be realistic. It wasn't a time for pure motivation. It was a time for leadership. And during times of crisis, as leaders, we don't ignore or mask problems. We lead through them. And our people can handle bad news better than no news at all. So we communicated with empathy, we communicated truthfully, and lastly, we communicated frequently. In times of crisis, we felt we could over-communicate. We could not over-communicate, and every day things were changing, information and regulations were changing. So we used every means possible to communicate with our team. Major crises do two things. They present problems, but they also present opportunities. And if we are wise, we could use this time to demonstrate empathy and kindness and discover new and non-traditional ways to engage and support one another. As we do so, our communities are strengthened with a sense of connectedness, and connectedness during this time of physical and social distancing will become more premium than ever.